the evergreens. Stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good.
He had the voice, the charm, and the coveted title. Laine Hardy, the American Idol, in 2019 at just 8 years, the Louisiana native with the honey-toned, swamp rock voice was crowned the winner of America's biggest singing competition, seemingly, on a fast track to country music stardom. His victory was a redemption story, a stunning comeback after being cut from the show just one season before. With a record deal inked and a coronation song, Flame, blazing up the charts. His future seemed limitless, a golden path paved right to the heart of Nashville, but just as his career was taking off, a shocking arrest for allegedly bugging his ex-girlfriend's dorm room brought it all to a screeching halt. Headlines shifted overnight from tour dates to criminal charges, and the roaring applause of his fans was replaced by a deafening silence. The party with a Hardy catchphrase that had defined his feel-good run on Idol suddenly felt like a distant, hollow echo. Fans were left stunned, confused, and asking one simple question: what really happened to Laine Hardy? Well, the full story of his rise, his dramatic fall from grace, and his quiet journey to rebuild his life is even more complex and compelling than you think. It's a story of immense pressure, a critical mistake, and the difficult, uncertain road to redemption. To understand the sheer scale of Laine Hardy's fall, you first have to appreciate the heights from which he fell. His journey to the American Idol crown wasn't just a win. It was a Cinderella story that America couldn't resist. Hardy first appeared on the show in its 16th season back in 2018. He was a raw talent, a shy kid from Livingston, Louisiana, with an undeniable vocal gift but lacking the polish and confidence to go all the way. He was eliminated before the live shows, a respectable run, but one that suggested his story was over. He had no intention of returning. The following year, when his friend Ashton Gill was auditioning, Laine came along simply to play guitar for her. He was there for support, standing off to the side, completely out of the spotlight. But the judges Luke Bryan, Katy Perry, and Lionel Richie recognized him immediately. They remembered the potential they'd seen. In a move that felt completely genuine, they urged him to sing for them again. Persuaded, he stepped up to the microphone, and this time, something was different. The shyness was still there, but it was overshadowed by a newfound grit. He wasn't the same kid they had sent home. They offered him a golden ticket to Hollywood right then and there, kicking off one of the most remarkable comeback stories in the show's history throughout season 17. Laine Hardy wasn't just a contestant. He was a phenomenon. He transformed week after week, shedding his initial diffidence to reveal a confident, charismatic performer. He had a distinct style, a fusion of southern rock, classic country, and swampy bayou blues. His renditions of songs like Hurricane by the Band of Heathens and Come Together by the Beatles were masterclasses in making classics his own. He wasn't just singing covers. He was reinterpreting them through the lens of his Louisiana roots. The judges were all in. Lionel Richie famously quipped about Hardy's keen fashion sense, wondering if the young contestant had been raiding his closet. Luke Bryan, a country superstar in his own right, saw a kindred spirit. Katy Perry was captivated by his charm and rapid growth. It was this combination of raw talent, undeniable charisma, and a compelling backstory that resonated deeply with viewers. Fans latched onto him with a fervor rarely seen. They coined infectious catchphrases that flooded social media. Party with a Hardy, and I'm on the Laine train. It was more than just a fan base, it was a movement. When he returned to Louisiana for his hometown visit, the support was overwhelming. Governor John Bell Edwards officially proclaimed May 14, 2019 as Laine Hardy Day. The footage from that day, showing an emotional Hardy moved to tears, cemented his image as a humble young man on the cusp of greatness. The season finale in May 2019 pitted him against the uniquely talented Alejandro Aranda. When host Ryan Seacrest announced Laine Hardy as the winner, the relief and joy on his face were palpable. He had done it. The kid who came back to play guitar for a friend had won the whole thing. The victory was immediate and impactful. His coronation single, Flame, shot to the top of the iTunes rock chart and reached the top 2 on the overall chart, providing the perfect launchpad for a promising career. Winning American Idol is one thing. Navigating the treacherous waters of the music industry afterward is another challenge entirely. For Laine Hardy, the initial trajectory was everything a new artist could hope for. He signed an exclusive record deal with Hollywood Records and 19 recordings, the standard prize for an Idol winner and a crucial step in turning television fame into a sustainable career. He spent the months following his victory building a foundation. He dove headfirst into songwriting sessions in Nashville, collaborating with seasoned writers to hone his craft and define his sound. His goal was to create an album that was true to his roots while also having broad commercial appeal. In 2018, before his big win, he had released a small 3-song EP titled In the Bayou, which gave fans a taste of his sound. But now, with a major label backing him, the stakes were higher. He began releasing new music, carefully building momentum. In 2020, he dropped 2 songs that would become fan favorites, Ground I Grew Up On and Let There Be Country. These tracks were a clear statement of identity, doubling down on the Bayou rock persona that America had fallen in love with. The promotional machine was in full swing. A significant moment came in 2021 when he performed his romantic new single, Memorize You, on an episode of ABC's hit show The Bachelor. This was a strategic move, exposing him to a massive mainstream audience. The song was a hit and became the lead single for his highly anticipated debut album DOP in September 2021. That album, titled Here's to Anyone, was finally released. Produced by Michael Knox, the heavyweight producer best known for his work with Jason Aldean, the album was a polished, professional effort. It contained 11 tracks that showcased Hardy's versatility, from upbeat anthems to more introspective ballads. He embarked on his first headlining tour, playing to sold-out crowds of fans who eagerly sang along to every word. The Laine train was moving at full speed, and it seemed like nothing could derail it. He was living the dream, solidifying his place not just as an Idol winner, but as a legitimate rising star in the country music world. Just as Laine Hardy's career seemed to be hitting its stride, his world came to an abrupt halt. In late April 2022, news broke that sent a shockwave through his fanbase and the entertainment industry. Laine Hardy, the charming country singer, had been arrested. The allegations were deeply unsettling. A warrant was issued for his arrest by the Louisiana State University Police Department after an ex-girlfriend alleged that Hardy had planted a secret recording device in her university dorm room. The details in the arrest warrant painted a troubling picture. According to the documents, the victim and her roommate discovered a device that looked like a phone charger hidden under her futon. After researching it, she realized it was a voice-activated audio recorder and turned it over to the police. Investigators noted they could hear Hardy's very distinguishable voice on one of the files. The warrant detailed that some recordings captured private conversations, including discussions about her breakup with Hardy. The victim also told police that Hardy had previously known an unnerving amount of detail about her life, things she'd never told him. When confronted, he had allegedly admitted to planting a bug in her room but claimed he'd later thrown it into a pond. On April 28, 2022, Hardy acknowledged the warrant on social media, writing, "I have been fully cooperative with the Louisiana State University Police Department," and adding, "I have the utmost respect for the law." The following day, he turned himself in and was booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on a felony charge of interception of wire, electronic, or oral communication. He was released on a $5,000 bond. The fallout was immediate and severe. His wholesome American Idol image was shattered by the nature of the allegations, a calculated violation of privacy. Professionally, his career was instantly frozen. Appearances were paused, and the momentum he had painstakingly built vanished overnight. For months, Hardy disappeared from the public eye almost entirely. In October 2022. Another blow came when he announced he had parted ways with his record label, 19 Entertainment and Disney's Hollywood Records. While the announcement was framed As a mutual decision, the timing was impossible to ignore. The American Idol winner, once the crown jewel of the label's new talent, was now an independent artist, adrift. The fall was complete. Following the arrest and the loss of his record deal, Laine Hardy entered a period of profound public silence. Behind the scenes, a slow and deliberate process of legal resolution and personal rebuilding was underway. The legal battle concluded not with a dramatic trial, but with a quiet resolution. In 2023, Hardy's legal team reached an agreement allowing him to enter a pretrial diversion program. These programs are typically for first-time, nonviolent offenders. By successfully completing the program's requirements, an individual can have the charges formally dismissed and their record potentially expunged, offering a legal path forward without a felony conviction. With the legal chapter drawing to a close, Hardy began to reemerge. After a period of silence, he made a tentative return to social media. His first post wasn't an apology or an explanation. Instead, he simply picked up his guitar and shared a new, unreleased song. The message was clear: he was turning back to his music. The reaction from his core fan base was powerful. The comment sections flooded with messages of support, welcoming him back. However, many followers were taken aback by his physical transformation. The clean-cut heartthrob from Idol was gone, replaced by a man with longer, shaggier hair and a full beard. The new look was a stark departure, symbolizing a clear break from his past. He was no longer the polished product of a reality TV show. He was an independent artist forging a new, grittier identity. Throughout 2023 and into 2024, he continued this strategy of quiet rebuilding. He leaned into his faith and focused on his Louisiana roots, his family, and his music. He began playing small, intimate shows again, reconnecting with his audience on a more personal level. He was starting over, not from the top, but from the ground up, on his own terms. After navigating the darkest period of his life, Laine Hardy has emerged into a new, more stable, and arguably more meaningful chapter. The last couple of years have been defined by profound personal milestones and a renewed, independent approach to his music. The most significant development has been starting his own family. In September 2024, Hardy and his girlfriend, Jordan Gautreaux, announced they were not only engaged but also expecting their first child. Gautreaux, a former professional dancer for the New Orleans Pelicans and an NFL cheerleader for the New Orleans Saints, shared their joy online. Their love story began in 2022 when Jordan, whose grandmother was a huge Laine Hardy fan, reached out to him through a family connection in his band to get a happy birthday video for her ma. That small act sparked a conversation, and their relationship blossomed away from the public eye. On February 24, 2025, they welcomed their son, Hollis James Hardy. Laine announced the birth on Instagram, writing, "Welcome to the world, Hollis James Hardy. We are over the moon about this little boy. An absolute gift from God. Let the adventure begin." The happy milestones continued. On June 20th, 2025, Laine Hardy and Jordan Gautreaux were married in a beautiful ceremony at Magnolia Fields. In their home state of Louisiana, photos showed a joyous couple surrounded by friends and family, with their 4-month-old son Hollis also dressed for the occasion. In just a few years, Laine's life had been completely transformed. Musically, Hardy is embracing his role as an independent artist. In January 2025, he officially released That Man, a song he had been teasing on social media. He has followed it with a steady stream of new tracks like Dancing on the Moon and Songs About You, making them available directly to his followers on streaming platforms. These songs showcase a more mature and reflective artist with lyrics that often touch on themes of home, love, and perseverance. While not on a major national tour, he continues to perform live, booking shows primarily in the South. In May 2025, he publicly supported fellow Louisiana native John Foster, a contestant on American Idol, offering him advice to be real and stay true to yourself. It was a full-circle moment, with the former winner now a mentor, sharing wisdom gained from his own tumultuous journey. He also shared that he was preparing to head back to a Nashville studio, Signaling his musical ambitions are as strong as ever, Laine Hardy's journey is a powerful and cautionary tale about the dizzying speed of modern fame and the crushing weight of public expectation. He was a teenager thrust from the quiet bayous of Louisiana into a national phenomenon, who achieved the dream of a lifetime only to see it nearly crumble under the weight of a single life-altering mistake. But that wasn't the final chapter. What really happened to Laine Hardy is a story of a fall, but more importantly, it's a story of redemption. It's about a young man who faced the consequences of his actions, retreated from the spotlight to heal, and began the slow, arduous process of rebuilding. He found stability not in chart positions or record deals, but in his faith, his family, and a return to his roots. Today, Laine Hardy's life is less about the party with a hearty spectacle and more about the quiet joys of being a husband and a father. He is making music on his own terms, driven by passion rather than by the demands of a corporate machine. His path forward may be less glamorous than the one initially laid out for him, but it is one he is walking with a newfound maturity and purpose. What do you think of Laine Hardy's journey and his new music? Do you believe in second chances for artists in the public eye? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.